you ever wake up in hell, lost the love of your life? Did your brother ever rip out your heart, forcing you to collect the souls of your ancestors in the Underworld? Of course you have, who hasn't? Well, hello and welcome. Today I'm going to cover Akuji the Heartless, a lovely old-school PS1 action-adventure about voodoo magic, demons, and betrayal. The reason as to why I wanted to cover this game is because I vividly remember my dad coming home from work one day when I was around the age of 4 or 5, handing me this game for the PlayStation 1. Surely he wasn't aware of the game's content. Surely. Anyways, I was far too young and dumb to understand anything really at that age, and therefore barely ever played it. That's why I decided to give it a go a little while ago, and boy, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I was positively surprised. Akuji the Heartless was released for the PlayStation 1 on January 22nd, 1999 in the US and subsequently on February 26th, 1999 in Europe. The game was published by Eidos Interactive, famous for publishing Deus Ex and the Tomb Raider franchise, as well as also having been involved with the publishing of Sword of the Berserk, Guts Rage for the Sega Dreamcast, another game I've already covered on this channel. The game itself was developed by Crystal Dynamics, known for the Gex franchise, a series of games that I will definitely have to cover in the future, as well as the development of at least some of the Tomb Raider games. Interestingly, this game Akuji the Heartless was actually developed on the Gex Enter the Gecko game engine, perhaps because they already had that engine lying around, ready to be used, or maybe they simply wanted to promote it. Who knows, I definitely don't. The available information on the internet in regards to the game's development is relatively scarce and hard to come by, therefore I didn't manage to find a lot. But what I did find might be of interest to some. The game's story was written by Jim Curry and Eric Lindstrom. The former is known for working on the stories of A Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, and the Gex franchise, whereas the latter is known for having worked on the Tomb Raider franchise as a creative director. Yet, according to some sources, he was fired in 2009 due to them, quote, having had too many captains for the number of ships. Although, after getting fired, Lindstrom worked many years as a self-employed video game design consultant and seems to have worked with Supercell for a while, the guys who made Clash of Clans. So let's dive into the story, shall we? As mentioned before, the game's story deals with you literally going to hell. You're a voodoo priest who goes by the name of Akuji. Your brother who planned your murder rips out your heart on your wedding day and banishes you to the Underworld. Here your would-be wife Keisha appears before you. You're ordered to stop your brother's buffoonery and mischief, but first you would need to escape hell. In order to do that, Akuji forges a deal with the lower Baron Samedi, one of the Haitian voodoo deities of death. The only thing he will have to accomplish is to collect the souls of his ancestors and defeat the Wardens of Hell. It's like baking cake, if baking cake involved demons and satanic rituals, I guess. After collecting all of your ancestors' souls, you find out that Baron Samedi betrayed you. Seriously, who could have ever guessed that you'd meet bad guys in hell? What a shocking surprise. He never wanted to help you, but instead he wants to use your ancestors' souls to escape hell himself and take your wife with him. Obviously, Akuji wouldn't be into that, so he defeats Baron Samedi, regains his heart, and returns to the mortal world together with his wife, Keisho. Gameplay-wise, Akuji the Heartless doesn't really feature anything special. It's just a simple action-adventure title with jump-and-run elements, a few puzzles here and there, and of course some simple button-mashing combat as well. The game does feature tons of different spells though, honestly pretty cool stuff in my opinion. The game even lets you aim first person. Yet, I do think they should have focused a bit more on the magical aspect of the gameplay, since you're a voodoo priest after all. The game's Wikipedia page also claims that you're able to summon demons in the game, something I can't confirm, but maybe I just never found that specific spell in question. Who knows? But at this point, I also have to critique the game a little, because the camera has been a nightmare at times, perhaps very fitting for a game set in hell, because the camera controls truly made me suffer at times. Falling off the map has also been a common occurrence during my playthrough, but this has nothing to do with the game's controls, but rather with me being bad at video games. But I do have to praise the game for a few things it has definitely gotten right. As mentioned before, the spellcasting was great, and the old school polygon PS1 graphics combined with the simple, somewhat empty feeling audio design truly threw me back into simpler times. Finally, to come back to the game's story and overall feeling. The game is relatively short, you can easily finish it in around 4+ hours, even less if you're a bit faster than me, and besides the story being very lackluster, not being detailed enough for my personal preference, and just generally feeling unpolished, the game offers enough enjoyable content to fill an afternoon if you got a few hours to waste. While I would refrain from calling this game a hidden gem, I did enjoy playing it and I do not regret giving it a go. Since the game was made by the same company behind the Gex franchise, it also made me want to check some of the Gex games out again, and I will very likely cover some of them in the future. If you like old school PS1 games, the Gex franchise, or perhaps just want to play some old games while mindlessly staring at the TV screen at midnight, I'd recommend you to give Akuji the Heartless a try, and perhaps this heartless voodoo priest will conquer a place in your heart. Alright, that was pretty fucking cringe. Oh, and one more thing. Don't forget to save after finishing each level. Don't forget to save. This is not a warning. It's not just a warning. I mean, I'm serious. I can still feel the pain. I can still feel the fucking pain. You don't want to lose 2 hours of progress. You don't. You really fucking don't. If you managed to make it to the end of this video, I would like to thank you for your time and attention. It's very common, considering how fragile most people's attention spans are nowadays, to not fully finish every video you watch. You know, I'm speaking of experience here. Since you made it this far, it would make my day if you leave a like and a comment or subscribe. If you like this type of content, let me know and I'll see if I manage to produce more videos of these sorts in the future, blah blah blah. With all that said, make sure to enjoy your day. Over and out, have a good one.